We are back, baby. Welcome to the Blitz Breakdown, presented by Blitzalytics.com, where scouting meets analytics, and you meet the newest crop of off-field talent. Ashton Moore, cheers, brother.
Absolutely, my man. Welcome, Blitz Familia. Happy to have you. Welcome. The offseason is pretty much officially over now that we have the Hall of Fame game coming up this week. Last week, we were celebrating the beginning of training camp. Now we're celebrating the beginning of a semi-real football game. I don't know how many starters we'll see this Thursday, but hey, it's football nonetheless. And yeah, happy to be here. Let's get it, brother.
Oh, me too, man. Again, back to it on a weekly basis, everybody. I said we were going to hold ourselves to the standard, and by golly, god darn it, we are going to hold ourselves to the standard. So every week, typically Tuesday, again, we're not going to hold ourselves to a set schedule, but on a weekly basis, you will see that pretty mug, this ugly, pasty, reflecting the sun every second I get, face of ours. So, again, like you said, we got football back in a single week, my guy. I am so excited. What you drinking on there?
Oh, tonight's drink of choice is Reyka vodka, and then water and Mio. Just feeling a little different, and I went different, and so far it's twisted me up pretty nicely. So we'll see what comes out of my mouth pretty soon.
Nice. I am.
How about yourself? What you got?
Key cities. I'll even showcase it. Key cities, concrete skies. As you guys can see, I think my camera's backwards, so it didn't look good. But yeah, that is a double dry hopped hazy IPA by our sponsors, Key City Brewing. I actually got to help brew that beer, so it's kind of got a little soft spot there. Not that I get to take any credit in how good it tastes. I just helped through sacks of grain and hops and shit, and yeah,
you were there.
Yeah, I was there. I was there, basically.
You held the instructions.
My love is in that can, but nothing else. Don't worry. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
When's my batch gonna be ready?
Hey, I actually do. I was gonna say I need your address one more time because I have cans for you to send.
Won't say it over the live stream, but I'll surely get it to you.
Oh yes, sir. So I think we're gonna have to. We may have to make that like a regular thing. And if we have any guests on, I will be obligated.
That's a good incentive.
I'll be obligated to send some beer their way. So maybe
especially if they're going to be one of our sponsors, right?
Oh heck yeah, exactly. But yeah, maybe that'll entice like a Matt Miller or a Mello or like a Connor to come on. We'll get one of the guys from. I was
Who doesn't love free great beer?
Oh right,
cool cans.
Yeah, again, we meet them at breweries every year. You'd expect them to say hell yeah. So. We'll see, but yeah, maybe we'll start sending everybody some cool shit, including beer. Who doesn't like beer? Even though I'm not selling beer for my house or sending beer for my house.
No,
that's illegal. Yes. I would never do such a thing. They will come here in studio and do such a thing. Wink, wink.
Naturally.
Anyways, so we do have a game coming up. It's crazy to think that football's a week away. Technically, like really, it's not, but it is. Like if you aren't at least in the motion of setting your fantasy football league up right now, you are failing. Like if you don't have your dates ready yet, which I don't in any of my leagues, but if you aren't like at least getting the ball rolling on the football season, starting to planning out your Sundays, figuring out how many leagues you can be in, what games you're going to, well, and you're just messing up. Like what are you doing with your life? How are you going to call yourself a true football fan if you ain't putting in the time like that? And right now,
how are you even watching this?
Yeah,
how are you even watching this if you're not already involved with fantasy?
Yeah,
it's not like I've already drafted 2 of my teams and I got 3 coming up. But yeah, no, 'tis the season, homie. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and it's about to get a lot more interesting now that padded practices are beginning, or at least for the Chiefs. I know it's starting tomorrow, and from what I've seen, it's starting to really unravel this next week, depending on your coach's preference. I think Mike Zimmer said that they're not going to do padded practices, which I think is ludicrous, but hey, that's old man Zimmer these days. If he's not busy scolding people who aren't vaccinated, he's going to make some sort of comment somewhere.
I think we're going to leave that COVID talk to like that one podcast, and we're not going back. We're not going back. But yeah, speaking of unpadded practices, Carson Wentz already getting hurt.
Yeah.
Between 5 and 12 weeks. They're going to go with no surgery There's no I haven't heard an exact diagnosis. Have you?
Could you be more vague in a recovery time though?
Yeah.
It's anywhere from next month to a few months.
Double. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is
it? Yeah, will you be home
that
from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.? And
that to me sounds like an injury that could most definitely linger into the season. I'm going to take a wild guess and a wild bet and say everybody got a little too ahead of themselves in thinking that Carson Wentz was going to be worth that first-round pick, and that somehow, miraculously, even though it hasn't happened in God knows how long, he's going to stay healthy. What, minus 1 year of his career, his rookie season, he hasn't stayed healthy?
The year before, he had 16 games. I just saw that, and that's the only reason I know that information. Yeah. In 2019, he started 16 games and had 27 touchdowns and 7 receptions, which was still oh, we got MVP Wentz coming back. But not really. And then he just completely imploded last year. It was insane. And he was still trying to make things happen, but I don't know if he lost confidence in himself or who he was throwing to, which can't really blame him. He didn't really have a lot to work with at wide receiver. And now Davonte Smith hurt his knee, so who knows what's going to happen with that whole situation. But I say that to say he's always been a guy who's relied on his mobility to move around and make crazy plays and break sacks. And but now that he has a faulty foot, is he just gonna try to become a precision pocket passer once he gets back, or is he gonna is he gonna test the limits on this newly repaired foot that we don't know how long it's gonna take? Yeah, it's I wouldn't feel good right now as a Colts fan, but Nick Eason is at least something to get excited about until you watch him play. I mean, he's a young quarterback who's got a big arm, he's got good size on him, and some people like him. Is that who Russ liked a few years at the Combine? Remember that? He was a surprise. Who's the guy that he said that was the quarterback that we all were really? That's his guy.
Oh,
it might have been him.
He's had a couple of them. But there was the quarterback.
I think it was Jacob Eason.
Was it? I don't know. I don't think he was that high on Eason.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think it was the quarterback.
He was high on somebody crazy.
Kyle Lauletta. It was Kyle Lauletta 1 year.
That was one.
Kyle Lauletta was his number one quarterback 1 year. Trying to think of who else it was. Kyle Lauletta 1 year. He always likes these random small school guys where
here for it. I love a good shout.
Me too. But
just this is my guy.
I feel like he will focus. He focuses in on the film and will refuse to accept surrounding circumstances, which is is exactly how you're supposed to scout. So he purely scouts the film and the fact that this guy can make all the throws typically. But then I think it's a lack of connectivity between he can make the throws, but who is he throwing to and who are the people that are covering the people he's throwing to. Well, it's one of those things where I think he'll love those small school guys a little bit too much, but I don't know. We all have our guys, like I said last pod, and we all have our biases, and so I think Russ has got he's got a soft spot for one quarterback every year. It feels like.
I love him for it. I just remember someone liking him, liking how big his arm was.
Hugh Bear was his or her bear, however he said it in terms of.
I enjoy. I was a big
Justin Herbert. He was big.
Out.
He was super big on Herbert, and to where I even argued against him. I was I'm not that big on Herbert at the Combine too. I called him on a live podcast. I guess. Looks like I don't know as much as I talk about. There's a reason why.
Russ might know a little bit more about football than you.
I've definitely. Grasshopper has not surpassed the mentor by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, so what do you think happens with Wentz? Is this just gonna be? Is this just one more time that he gets injured, or is this truly going to be his career? This is what we're gonna remember him for. One injury after another. He looked bulletproof, got to the NFL, and then just became China shop fragile.
And I don't know the guy, so I don't really like going into this aspect of it. But honestly, how does he handle this? How does he handle this type of adversity? This is small town kid. Well, he's from North Carolina, but from North Carolina State, and he's going through a lot of shit right now with his body, and now they're about to possibly bring in Nick Foles, like the guy who kind of just derailed like his legacy and probably kind of. So like,
so hard.
Bringing him into like
so
that.
Much.
Right.
They should like. I would do anything but Nick Foles. Like,
Frank Reich likes him.
Go trade
He's
for
a good
Gardner Minshew. Like, oh, that would
division rival though. I don't see how they would give up. I don't see how the Jaguars would just let Minshew play him twice a year.
But I'm thinking of any quarterback that's on the trade market right now at this point. But
Foles. And depending on what happens out of San Francisco, it's going to be Jimmy G.
But like again,
it sounds like Shanahan really wants Jimmy G to be the guy for now and let Lance slowly get into it, which I completely agree.
Yeah, that's a total disguise. It's going to be Jimmy G until like midway through the season, and then they're going to bring out an entirely new offense. Ain't nobody going to be ready for it, and then boom, there goes the Niners heading to the Super Bowl until they face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But
yeah. It's gonna be but so I mean like that's we don't have anybody else. Yeah. Andy Dalton, but if they're trading Dalton, why don't they trade Foles?
I'm writing that one down.
Tyrod.
That's going on the clip. Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna be using. I mean, Deshaun, but he's not going in the division.
Again. Yeah, it sucks that all the quarterbacks that are for sale.
Division rival. Like if the Colts really were to acquire Deshaun Watson, was that like 8 first rounders? Like
you can't even trade that far out. So you would have to literally sell you'd have to trade the whole team.
Nah, I mean,
it's not gonna happen. Again, like look at how this franchise has been managed and run and operated. Like it's so efficient. They have money and they still don't spend it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean
they've got cap space and they still don't they have yet to give a bad contract out, I think. Maybe the Carson Wentz trade, but I mean, again, now they're already locked in as only a second. It's only a second round pick and you might have found your quarterback. But I definitely don't think it's Jacob Eason's going to be the guy. I don't know. They should have never got rid of Jacoby.
So what are you thinking? Like what are you doing if you're the Colts? And like Eason isn't shown to be a guy who will win you 9 wins, 9+ wins. Because they're in the win.
Who else is on the roster? It's Jacob Eason and who else? Don't they have another?
Brett Hundley and one more. Colts depth chart. Yeah, so, like, really, though, all this plays out, and Justin Fields takes over in Chicago eventually. So, Andy Dalton might become available. But at the end of the day, if anyone's getting traded out there, it's going to be Foles.
Yeah, I think Dalton. I think they would be silly to get rid of. Yeah, Sam Ehlinger.
Right. Yeah.
Brent Hundley. They have to go get another quarterback. And
So, like, how does this play out though? Like, who's going to become available? New Orleans isn't going to give up a Winston and. They seem like they're going to be trying to do a 2-quarterback thing.
They have to have 2 quarterbacks. That's not even a question. Like because neither of them are proven.
Mike Glennon is Mike Glennon around, but like, are you really trading for Mike Glennon?
Who does? Yeah, who is? I love me some Glennon. That's
Josh Rosen. Is Josh Rosen around? Like these are the kind of like just fucking lottery tickets we're playing here, just to try to get someone who can get them to a winnable season because they're in the worst division in the league, right?
I know, and they were just completely. That's what you look at it. They went completely all in on the idea of Carson Wentz, and now instantly, like a week into training camp, like the first few days, the training camp even officially started
2 weeks ago. Would they have been? If this would happen 2 weeks ago, would they have reached out for Aaron Rodgers?
Well, it doesn't matter because everybody reached out to Aaron Rodgers and they didn't go get it. Like he's not for sale.
Yeah.
The more he keeps talking, he might be.
That would have been crazy.
I'll tell you what. If I love the fact that Aaron Rodgers just lit them up in the press conference, listed like 15 names of people that he felt like were mistreated or not given their proper due or shown respect on the way out. Like he had that shit ready, memorized. Like, it might as well have been written on a piece of paper on a scroll, because
I can
he
see, like,
wrote that
reciting
out
in the mirror
sure.
the night before. Like, he couldn't see. Like, he's like, I just want to make sure I get all the right guys
he
here.
may
but,
be
like,
so
no.
cerebral that he can just, like, memorize something like that, not have to even write it down. But he knew who he was listing. Like, he didn't forget a single name. I mean, all the way back to he dated people all the way back to Charles Woodson and John Kuhn, and, like, I was like, God damn. And now I'm thinking about it.
He's
I was
been
like,
holding on to that.
Wow, he did. He literally called out every bad move that they've had and been like, you let these guys go before they were past their prime, or you let them go where they were still able to contribute, and you didn't even, like, you disrespected each and every single one of these people. And he didn't be like, this is why I'm pissed off. But that's exactly what it says is, hey, this is why I'm pissed off. This is, like, he won every Green Bay Packers fan who may have even slightly been on the fence or was on Green Bay's side. He won them all over with that press conference or with that interview.
He's just saying that, look, I didn't want to be here, or you forced me to be here, essentially, so I'm just going to do it my way, knowing that I pretty much put my 2 weeks in, extrapolated for a whole NFL season, but essentially saying I'm out of here and I have 17 years worth of pent up content to give out. I don't really feel like having a filter anymore because I'm Aaron Rodgers, and I'm seeing,
who hasn't worked for a shitty boss or had a bad job with, like, a bad work environment, or, you know, you worked. The worst thing, I say this all the time, just, like, you have to be able to work for people you respect. If you don't work for people you respect, like, that is the worst job. I would rather have the worst job and the best boss than the best job and the worst boss. Like, hands down. Like, give me, you know, if you're working, like, if you're in the worst job, but you're around your best friends doing it, you know, obviously, like, I mean, there's probably like an ends to that, or within a means to that, obviously, like, the best job on earth, you know, whatever that may be. But
I'm pretty positive that's what the statistics say. Like, that's the number one reason people leave is because of poor management, or like they don't enjoy the situation that they're in at that. And now you see the king of pettiness and the biggest drama queen I've ever had in my life as a sports fan. Just get a platform to kind of let it run, and he's like, am I going to upset the boss? Oh, I wouldn't want that to happen. Ooh. And no, he's out here. He's seemed to really open himself up over the past year with him talking to Pat and just, like, really starting to kind of show his true colors a little bit more, letting his hair grow, going out on vacations. It's great. Like, he's living, and I love him for it. And I think it's going to be really cool to see this year of Aaron Rodgers, but it does not sound fun if I'm in the Green Bay front office, because he's about to be airing out all of his laundry.
All I'm going to say is Tom Brady did it first this year. In terms of, like, no fucks given. This is how I
think it had something to do with that.
I really
I
do,
think he
man.
sees that, like, Tom Brady's having fun. He's like, he's petty.
Yeah,
he's
dude.
petty.
I think every quarterback,
if anybody's having it better than him, he's like.
In the last 2 years, every quarterback that is, like, had an opportunity to move on or is in a bad situation looks at Tom Brady and is like, man, like, the grass is greener on the other side. This is bullshit. That should be me. So, but yeah, you have Alex Smith, who retired. You have Robert Griffin.
Yeah, he can't come back. Please don't let Alex Smith come back. And I'm surprised his name hasn't came up yet, because I know he wants to keep playing, Bortles. Oh,
Matt Barkley.
Oh my goodness.
Josh McCown, kind of.
No,
even though he's a coach.
No.
Blake Bortles, Ryan Finley, that's it. So, I mean, they'd have to Jamie Newman. I mean, like, they would have to go get Josh Johnson. They would have to go get
Josh Johnson. Fun fact, Josh Johnson has the record for the most teams played for in football history. Found that out the other day.
Most teams played for, or most teams started for? Most teams played for?
Played for.
Damn.
Played for. Like, different, because I thought Fitzpatrick would be up there. Nah, Josh Johnson blew him away.
Damn,
like,
Josh Johnson really has.
He's up to like 14 or something like that. It's
holy
crazy.
Hell. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, he's 35 years old, and he's been a mobile quarterback for that long. Like, dude, he won the Bucks. He started for the Bucks for, like, a good part of the year.
He was really good in the XFL.
Yeah, he was. He was the best quarterback.
Yeah. Well, PJ Walker was the best quarterback.
Oh yeah. So wait,
Josh Johnson definitely.
Josh Johnson was the number one overall. Was the number one overall pick. Yeah, he was the first pick. Yes. That's what it was. Sorry, not the best quarterback.
And then he got a contract right after it folded in the NFL. So like, people love him. So maybe Josh Johnson. We'll see Josh Johnson appearance in Indianapolis. But at the end of the day, I don't see a lot of room for optimism if I'm a Colts fan, unless they just go straight triple option. I'm kind of on board with them signing like Blake Bortles and like just a running quarterback, and then just do a lot of triple options with Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, and Nyheim Hines, and then just have like Michael Pittman do vertical routes and toss it up to him every now and then to keep the defense honest. But just might as well go all running game. You have a good offensive line. You have all of your talent in your backfield.
Oh, I didn't think about that one. Marcus Mariota could be an option for trade. He's got a $10 million cap hit as a backup QB, but where else would you rather spend money at a position where you don't have anybody for possibly the next 12 weeks? You have Jacob Eason, a guy who had a cannon for an arm and nothing else. And everybody was over there saying, oh, it's going to be, what was it? It's going to be Jacob Eason of the Bucs. Jacob Eason of the Bucs. He's got a cannon for an arm. You know, Bruce Arians loves that cannon for an arm. Everybody was projecting Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason in the second to the Bucs, like last year. That was the big
Where
thing.
Did he end up going? What was his round pick?
Oh, I forget. It was like the 5th.
I do remember him going up high, yeah. Like I remember
I guess it was.
People expect him to go up high.
They might have taken him as second or third.
I don't think it was that high. No, 4th round.
4th round? Okay.
Yeah.
Pick 122.
We'll see. I mean, this is all he could ask for. I mean, the Colts have a pretty, from a surrounding cast standpoint, a pretty solid just overall situation for him to get situated in. We'll see.
If he falls flat on his face, though, and they don't have a quarterback to, like, step in, I mean, you have to have somebody. Literally, none of their quarterbacks have starts on their record, like
Jacoby
or
Brissett.
Any playing time. Yeah, I think it's got to be Jacoby Brissett. It's got to be Mariota.
I would say maybe Cam if Mac Jones is doing more inspiring things, but I haven't heard anything about Mac Jones. Have you heard anything about Mac Jones? Yeah.
No, I don't think any 3 of those quarterbacks are going anywhere. I think there is so much unknown in New England that there's no chance that any 3 of those quarterbacks are going. I think they're all on the roster, and I think probably all 3 of them are even week 1. I would almost expect that all 3 of them are suited up, which is crazy. You never suit up 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah. Man, yeah. It's the Patriots.
How about that? I wouldn't doubt anything. I would not doubt. I do think the Patriots make a rebound and have a good year, but I would not doubt if you see all 3 of those quarterbacks in one game this year. I will think a stink.
Third, Brett, isn't it like Brian Hoyer?
Jared Stidham.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I guess Hoyer is on that team too, huh? Yeah, I think they still have Hoyer. I think Hoyer won't be on there after. But Stidham, they've been saying the only thing that I've heard so far out of that camp is that Stidham has looked like the best quarterback. I heard that Stidham had a killer day.
Don't trust that.
Dude, I like Stidham, man. I can't help it. I like Stidham coming out. He was the best quarterback the entire week at Senior Bowl. I've been on the Stidham train. I was on the Stidham train a while back.
So why don't maybe the Colts need to reach out for Stidham? I mean, they drafted Mac Jones. This is where Ballard scouting comes into play. Like, he needs to dig deep and find, in his scouting reports of the last 4 years, which quarterbacks fell through the cracks that he always kept his eye on, and then just go for it. And then just keep going for it, because whoever that is isn't going to cost a lot. Burn through. Do you burn through a lot of draft capital? How much of your long-term future do you use to salvage this year? When I'm thinking about it, it is a win now team, just because I feel like Yeah, I feel like if you're basing your offense on a running game, you can't have a lot of longevity planned out for that. So I think that's kind of why I'm leaning towards that. Because at the same token, I can't really think of many old players outside like T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like this still has a bright future, and this still is a very good overall roster. And they have 2 defensive ends that they just drafted really high. So I mean, like the future's still bright. The sky isn't completely falling. But I'm not looking forward to this year. Like I wouldn't get season tickets unless they unveil like a super dope new offense that has like a triple option that has like 3 running backs and a running quarterback. Like, you know how hard that would be? Is like, I don't know if you ever played against that in high school, but we had 2 teams in our district that did it, and it sucked, dude. Because like it wasn't even like tricky. It was just certain keys that the defense provides that a run works due to how the defense is set up.
Yeah, it was
like
it was
nobody
very,
else is doing that.
It was a basic pre-snap read. All right, we're going here if they're there. We're going here if they're here. Like we're doing this if they do this, we're doing that. If they do this, we're doing that.
Sign somebody from Georgia Tech over as like a consultant of how to make that thing happen ASAP, because if I'm going against a defense, they have to spend a whole week learning a new way to play defense. And like, I don't know. I would rather do that than depend on. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about Jacob Eason because I don't know anything about the guy, and I want to withhold the ability to enjoy his rise and not just shit on him without actually watching him develop on an NFL. So
I'll do it.
We'll watch. We'll see what happens. But I would say I want Blake Bortles and I want a triple option offense. That's my stance.
I'm looking at it right now. Jacoby Brissett to the Dolphins, but I think Jacoby Brissett stays with the Dolphins because he is like the security or the insurance policy on Tua. Then you look.
Tua sounds like he's done pretty well though.
Oh, I think
yes,
he hasn't
you need
thrown
insurance.
Yeah, I heard he hasn't thrown. They were telling me this morning. Jet was actually at the training camp today, the day before, and had said sometime this week. Let me put it that way. And had said that he hadn't thrown an interception yet. Was looking killer so far, and you definitely have to give him time after getting that hurt, breaking a hip for Christ's sake. Like you got to give him some time, and no off season, no preseason. No real training camp. Give the man his props. Like, give the man, like, a little bit of leeway, for Christ's sakes. But I'm looking at maybe Tyler Heineke. Like, that guy played his ass off, but then I think, he's the only one
I don't think you'd want to give him away.
No, exactly.
You want to hold on to him.
You hold on to it. So, you got Mariota. You got Mitchell Trubisky. Like, he's a top. I think he might be, sadly, one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, I know.
I'd rather see Eason. I'd rather sign Blake Bortles and run a triple option offense than watch Mitch Trubisky be the quarterback of my football team. But hey, that's just me.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get with Jacob Eason. Come out and light it up. You never know. So you at least got to see what you got there. But really, it's crazy how paper thin the NFL is at quarterback right now. When you think about it, like most of these teams are screwed if they lose their starter. Like minus the Patriots, maybe minus the Saints.
Do they just kind of fold this year and just boost their draft capital to get Aaron Rodgers this next offseason? Because they're kind of.
I don't know if you just got done
trading.
Just got done trading for Carson Wentz, and then you're going to go try and trade for Aaron Rodgers. I know like the first mistake is then erased and just like swept under the rug, but still,
sunken cost, dog. No longer an issue once it's been done.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I'm not. I was worried about them for a little bit, but.
Crazy.
It just removes another AFC contender. So now it's down to the Bills and Browns.
If you had Pete Carson Wentz plus that offensive line and that run game and that stout-ass defense, dog.
Let's just throw Marvin Harrison in there as well. Yeah, if only.
Man, yeah.
Maybe Randy Moss was on there just for chance. Yeah,
Well,
if only.
Yeah, if only. Yeah, if nuts then buts. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I don't understand how people did not realize that this was an option, or this was not even like an option. This was likely going to happen.
Possibility.
Yeah, this was the most likely possibility. Was Carson Wentz going to have a complete resurgence and be some amazing, godly MVP like quarterback again, or was he going to get hurt again? I think we knew
sure
the
hope
answer.
so.
We knew the answer to that, and it's sad because
Well,
so
he'll
many
be back
NFL
at some point
so many
this
NFL
year,
careers
apparently.
end like this, or kind of like fizzle out because of one injury after another after another. Maybe it's just the Colts facility. You had Peyton Manning, neck injury. You had Andrew Luck, every injury.
Ankle. Yeah,
every injury. And then you have Carson Wentz, injured already.
Yeah, no, not inspiring time to be a Colts
Maybe it's
fan.
Lucas Oil Stadium or their practice facility. You never know. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's a really nice facility.
I've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed my time there, and I really, 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 really
I hope
hope
they keep it there.
Yes. Do not, for the love
Hashtag
of God,
keep
NFL.
Combine in Indy.
Yes. Hashtag keep it in Indy. Keep it Indy, baby. Downtown. Yeah. One
Keep it
hashtag.
Indy.
Yeah. Keep
Yeah.
it Indy. 1 mile square. It doesn't get any better, except it's freezing ass cold. But like, the only people that are complaining about that are probably the execs that want to make more money by sending it to LA or sending it to Texas, anyways.
No, they want to make it a fucking fan destination. They want to be able to do the draft experience. They want to do that whole, just commercialize it as much as possible.
Yeah,
make it,
which is perfect in Indy. There's like tunnels everywhere. I mean, everything is right there. No other city
they don't
can
need fans. Fans will ruin it because now you won't. Now
There's
Louis
enough
Riddick
fans.
isn't going to want to.
There's enough
They're going to
fans
have to
there.
do private events for NFL.
How many more? I mean,
we'd
the
be in there.
stadium is,
So actually, I'm here for that.
The stadium is the stadium is packed already. So, or packed as much as it possibly can be with the upper row. So like, how much more of a fan experience are you going to be able to give these people? Like literally,
there's no reason to leave it from a like. That's not true. It's like if you're talking about fan experience, it could definitely be improved. Like just like if you're bringing families there, but not like aspiring scouts experience. Because Indy's perfect for it because of the exposure you get.
Unless you have a legit, like if one of us fathered a child, that child would want to go to the combine.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. What are you doing?
Sorry, I'm just saying if or when. Oh, sorry. I knocked on wood.
See what you did?
I woke the pup up.
Bringing that into the air. Don't shoot. But no, I feel what you're saying. Like it would be more beneficial to put it in Vegas, or oh my God, it would ruin it if it was in Vegas. No,
that's how I don't know. Like Vegas would be.
That's
dope.
where it's headed. I'm sure.
Vegas would
like
be
they're
dope.
trying to
like
justify putting a stupid ass.
Vegas is the only
facility.
spot I think that you could justify being as good, if not better. But then imagine trying to
But it's
get
a business
scouts.
meeting. It's like a business weekend. Like kids can't. It is. Like you got to be on your.
Okay, all right, but it's NFL spring break for anybody who's been in the NFL before. Anybody going, it's spring break. You get to see all your friends. Come on, we've had every scout explain it to us like this. We've had every NFL exec. It's the only time of the year where everybody gets together. We've seen this. We've seen GMs drunk off their ass at 4 or 5 in the morning. Like we've seen NFL GMs passed out on couches, fucking hammered drunk after playing beer pong. We've seen this. So like it is
every
that.
year at Indy.
So then now take Indy, which is not known for being a party city by any stretch of the imagination. It can be. There's the downtown.
It gets down.
Kilroy's is legit. I mean that place is crazy. What do you got? Brothers down there. I mean obviously what is it? What was it? Rock Bottom Brewery.
I found a rave last time I was there.
Which one?
I stumbled across a rave in Indy, just random. I was walking around the street, just hammered, and then stumbled across like this. I could just feel bass coming from inside a door, and there was just a doorman outside. I was like, "Yo, what's in here?" He's like, $10. I All right, great answer. I just did that one inside, and it was going down. It goes down in Indy, and I didn't see any NFL personnel there, but it is a much funner and just bigger party town than most people think it is, just based on how it's set up. Because it is a very small major city, but it is the perfect place for the NFL Combine. And if they ruin it by putting it somewhere more commercialized, it would just I would just see it as a black eye on the NFL. I mean, like just ruining a good thing. And anybody that's there will attest to that. And more people should go to it, but the right people should go to it. Because you don't want to make it too public-y.
No, you don't. It's not. It's for the hardcores. Like, let it be for the hardcore fanatics. It does not need to be.
It's cold. It's good because not everyone's going to want to sit through that to get what they need to. But you get what you earn by going through that, because everybody is there, and you get access to them better than anywhere else you'd go. And they're surprisingly a lot nicer than you would expect them to be. And they're very forthcoming once they like, oh yeah, you're harmless. You're not someone that I'm scared you're going to leak something, and you get some really great scoops. It's tight.
Anyways, dude,
I don't even know how we got to Indy.
I don't even know either. It's easy thing to do, and I'm not upset about it because I can talk about those good stories. But it sucks because the best stories we can't talk about on air. Like the best stories we have are like, come find us at a bar. We'll tell you there. Can't talk about it on air. We'll get fired from a job that
one day
we'll get fired from a job we don't even have yet for comments we haven't even made yet. But no, dude, I just can't believe it's crazy to think the Hall of Fame game always sneaks up on you like every year, you know. But I really didn't think it was this week. Like I knew it was this week.
Yeah,
I knew it was the first week of August. Always is, you know. Like, it's usually, you know, like you got Madden coming out, you have everything, all these reasons to be excited.
Which football. This is the first year I'm actually like willing to go out and get Madden, which has been the first year in years. Yeah. I don't agree with their cover choices. Xbox.
Okay, all right, we're good. All right.
What's my name?
We're gonna do.
I'll have to put my tag in.
Does that mean we're doing a Blitz Madden season again?
Oh, I think we absolutely should.
Oh, we definitely. All right. Blitz, get Madden, Xbox. Let's go.
Maybe we could talk to Matt Miller. He's always the one. He always has like some crazy promo codes of like free copies.
Yeah, he does, but I want to say that had to do with Bleacher Report.
Good point.
I think that was Bleacher Report's thing, because Bleacher Report was the one that did the Madden tournament and everything. So
that'll do it.
Fuck.
Okay. But yeah.
Who's on ESPN now? You know, just saying.
He's crushing
killing it. But yeah, no, I think we should definitely hit them up and see. We had a good like 10-team Madden league last year. I'd be down to do it again.
Might as well. Yeah, no, they seem to actually care about the franchise for the first time in a decade, it seems. And it's not just about how many different skins can you put on your online avatar and how many different ways can you pay for minuscule items to just put on your meaningless little figure. And I really didn't like where they've taken it the last few years, but second time's a charm, I guess.
I don't know, man. I'm like ready to boycott. Every year I say I'm ready to boycott, I don't end up boycotting. But it's the same.
Bring back Blitz the League. You remember Blitz the League, where they used to show like X-rays of like their neck being snapped and beating each other with helmets.
NFL Street was dope too.
Those are the days.
But I mean, nothing beats 2K. Like 2K was the greatest football game ever. Still to this day, the gameplay
still quite good.
The gameplay itself, I still think is better than Madden's. Like the way blockers blocked, the way run lanes were opened up was like so much more realistic. The way like players bounced off each other, like everything to me, I don't know. I think you simply just pay for. I'm probably getting ourselves in trouble right now, just talking shit to Madden EA Sports, but you just pay for the roster update, and you could download a roster update every year. So why even bother? What are we paying for? Nothing. It's pointless. Completely fucking pointless. I hate it.
Hey, it's the NFL.
Yeah, and their ratings, for Christ's sakes, too, just drive me insane.
It's the most pretentious thing. Like anyone who wears that shirt, like the Madden ratings adjuster, like just loves the smell of their own farts. Like they just the way they carry themselves, they're just super pretentious and.
Is it like the
and it's
South
always
Park?
wrong, and it's always bad opinions, and it's just not.
The way you said that,
I'm petty.
That reminded me of the South Park episode of them being all smug, driving their Priuses and their hybrids. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I guarantee you they drive.
They smell they smell their own farts like in that episode. Yeah, that's exactly what that shit reminds me of. That's great.
But yeah, how do we talk about Madden? What was it?
I don't even know. Just saying. I mean, the season's coming, so it's just like all this stuff coming on. But Hall of Fame game. I keep trying to redirect towards Hall of Fame game, and this is the first of 5 weeks of preseason. Now this is the first of 4 weeks of preseason with the Cowboys and the Steelers, which is a historical rivalry. They're going to have the opportunity to have one extra preseason game. So that means you're definitely not going to be seeing any starters. I highly doubt you're going to see anybody that's in the starting lineup, like any first-string players.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if Dak touches the helmet. I'd be surprised.
No. They've already said he's definitely not.
Yeah, of course. But like Tony Pollard, do you think he'll touch? You think he'll get in there?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like CD, probably not.
No, I don't think CD Lamb. I think, again, you spend a first-round pick on somebody. Why? Maybe a first-round pick from this year might
Gallup? See. Like at some point, yeah.
Yeah, I could see. Gallup. Yeah, I think Gallup will probably get a little bit of time.
Like because I mean they're not. I probably wouldn't play Gallup now. I'm thinking about it. Like, what are you gaining? He's not playing with Dak, so it's not like he's getting like timing down or chemistry together.
But then how many guys do you got that are gonna play all like? I mean, they've got
what, 90?
Yeah, I would say you can almost guarantee Amari, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, all of them are gonna be gone. So then you got.
So like Tyron Smith, I wouldn't play him. Connor Williams probably wouldn't do that. Zach Martin, all of your first string's gone. Yeah, so if your first string's gone, nobody's going to play behind them that you care about.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going to put anybody on the field. There's a handful of guys though in this game that I'm looking forward to seeing who either were on the team last year and either got hurt or didn't get much playing time. Like, there's quite a few guys. I know Bradley Anae is a guy we were all super stoked or super high on. When I seen him play at Utah, I was super high on him.
The defensive end?
Yeah. I mean, he was a beast, and he beat all of the top. He ended up beating like all of the top guys that like Austin Jackson was one of them. Like, he made Austin Jackson his what throughout an entire game, and Austin Jackson went first round, and second round, top of the second, beginning of the first, whatever it was, and he went like the 5th of the 6th round. Like, they got a super steal from him, but he is undersized. He does have his reach isn't NFL standard, so he's got an uphill battle in terms of like physical stature and like size. Like, he's kind of undersized to play DN, but he is a hell of a speed rusher. He's got insanely good hand technique. And I am super excited to see what Bradley Anae does. So I think there's a handful of these guys that we could talk about that are going to finally get some playing time that you could still see have future impact. So this game is worth watching. Not only because football's back, not only because it's the Cowboys and the Steelers, and that rivalry has so much history no matter what preseason or Super Bowl 3? Something like that. I don't even know.
Way before
like
our times. Way before for me to care.
Terrible
about
to have to look it up. Sorry.
There's
an old man watching right now.
Fan bases.
They're like,
I don't care for Cowboys fans or Steelers fans. I think you're both intolerable, and I hope this isn't a very entertaining game for either of y'all. Y'all all look terrible. But I will say there are some players that I do like from these rosters. To stick kind of to your pass rushers with the Cowboys,
30. Wow.
I feel like it's always going to be the hardest guys to pronounce. Osa Odigweziwa. That's definitely not how you say it. But I saw him in the Senior Bowl this year, and I just remember him really showing out consistently. And he was consistently in the backfield, and he just looked like a really good player. And I remember seeing that name consistently. I was like, I'm never going to be able to pronounce that, but I like his game. And he's in prime position to be getting some playing time at that point. So I will be looking out for the Scrabble champion, Osa Odigweziwa. Not a chance. So I like him and Jabril Cox on that same defense. He's from LSU. He got drafted in the 5th round this year, which went later than I thought he would. Just really good athlete who I was curious to see if he would play linebacker or safety, but it seems like they're playing Keanu Neal at weak side linebacker as well. So I'm just really curious of how that position is going to look. So you have 2 safety hybrids playing a linebacker position for a team who has drafted Micah Parsons, Jalen Smith, and Leighton Vander Esch very recently at high capital picks. So I'm like, what are you even doing at the position that you obviously care so much about? So that's just my personal interest in like what I would watch in this.
That is so weird. They have Keanu Neal at the will linebacker position. Like,
so what are we doing here? Like,
yeah, I didn't even notice that when I looked at that earlier. Jabril Cox, I understand. I mean,
but I don't know if Keanu Neal's going to play this week.
Yeah,
maybe. I doubt Jalen
if he was on any other team.
I would love Micah Parsons to play. I think he's an amazing player, but doubt it. And yeah, on offense for them, I was a big fan of Simi Fehoko from Stanford out of this last draft. Went in the 5th round, big body dude. Really liked how he blocked, just like kind of how his demeanor was on the field. Just was a fun player to watch. And thought it was an interesting fit for them. I think he definitely can carve out a role, but in this type of game, I don't see why he wouldn't outshine the likes of Noah Brown, Malik Turner, Johnny Dixon. Cedric Wilson's a name to watch out for, I suppose. But at the end of the day, we're talking about 3rd, 4th stringers here. So we'll see. We'll see who takes the opportunity upon themselves. And the only really other one I would care about would be, Sewo Olonilua.
Sewo Oluwanua.
There it is.
Yeah, I think I got it right. Roy last year coached us up on it. Like
he was all over him, and I was a big fan of his as well. Big dude.
Oh yeah,
big dude out of TCU.
Boy. He runs like Jerome Bettis. Like, and again, I thought I liked Sewu more than I liked AJ Dillon because I thought AJ Dillon was super slow-footed.
Really?
And when I did his report, I was like, yeah, Sewu is way faster, has way quicker feet, is bigger, stronger. This.
I definitely thought he should have been drafted. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe he didn't get drafted, but I get it because he's just so big. You know, like how many times has Brandon Jacobs like worked out at the full the running back position? Like those guys, not very often. So I get it, but I just hate when people like put guys in boxes. You know, I want all the hybrid players. Give me a guy who can do a million different things.
You're dealing with a lot of players, so I guess it's just easier to kind of generalize and say if this type of player fits you or not. So, I'm excited to see him. I don't see anybody else in that backfield that would really outshine him to the point that he doesn't get touches Thursday. So, if I'm looking for things on offense for the Cowboys, I'll go there. Over to the Steelers, though. As I was kind of going throughout this whole roster.
We can't forget AAF legend Garrett Gilbert. Don't forget about the homie, man. Come on.
He may lead the league.
Garrett Gilbert. Hey, if we're doing a fantasy football lineup right now between both of these rosters, there is no way I'm not putting Garrett Gilbert as my quarterback for this. I think he'll end up getting more playing time than DiNucci or Cooper Rush.
I would say the smart money would definitely be on that.
They have him listed as third string.
I would really have to dig deep to get excited about Garrett Gilbert. But I liked Ben DiNucci last year. I liked when he came in, he just seemed like a fun. I think he's like, I don't know. I think he's just like a Italian dude, like a little Italian dude.
He's like, I should not be here right now.
Right. It was just kind of fun. He's like, hey, I'm out here. Let's do it. Let's sling it around a little bit. What more could you want at a high school, at the Hall of Fame preseason game?
Yeah. So treating it like exactly. A quarterback.
I'm more excited to say Ben DiNucci than Garrett Gilbert. That's my point to that.
All right. we might have to put some little silly bet on this.
We could do something. We'll do a shot bet. You want to do a shot bet?
Shot bet? We can do that. We might have to
we'll have quarterback rating.
Huh?
Quarterback rating.
QBR. That's what we're doing. I'm down.
Tight. Okay.
I'm down. Maybe on air.
Pod.
Maybe not.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna be on our air shot.
Maybe the bad boys of sport football analytics, but I'm just saying I don't know how much I want to be getting drunk on our podcast. I already don't
your boy's already there.
I already don't trust myself. Like the words that come out of this mouth should not be trusted. I'm sure we probably
get to know your drunk self better,
already got
so
shadow banned. We probably already got shadow banned on freaking YouTube. We're probably never gonna get views after last week. So we did
come in with some pretty worthy topics, but hey, that's what we're here for.
I just repeated what the CDC said. That's all I did. I didn't.
He did.
We're done. We're so done. We're not gonna have a YouTube channel last week. It's gonna be like -2 views.
How do
you have
Discord?
How do you get negative views?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do this on Twitch and Discord and
it says we have
Parler.
It says we have 2 views, but somehow we have 32,000 dislikes.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, Steelers lineup.
So I was saying as I was looking through this, it's just an incredibly shallow roster at every position. And their entire offensive line is everyone's mentioning like, oh, well, we don't have the offensive line of last year, but that doesn't mean it's good. Sure, like the trajectory has changed, and I'm sure that's a more promising situation to be in, saying that like, well, at least there's hope that these guys can be good, but that there's no confidence that these guys are good, I would say. And then if I'm looking at just, again, the whole roster of like players that I'm excited to see in this Hall of Fame game, I would actually kind of like to watch Kendrick Green. I was a fan of his. They're playing him at center. He was a guard center, switching off in college, and I was looking at him for the Chiefs. Just a big dude, just big strong guy who, honestly, I think will end up being the starter for them probably by like week 2-3 if he doesn't take it by training camp. But overall, I'd say him. I doubt Roethlisberger plays a lot, so it's between Rudolph, Haskins, and Dobbs. Out of those guys, I'd like to see what Haskins has to do. I have no interest in watching Mason Rudolph play for the rest of my life, but he's going to probably play Thursday.
Do you think Dwayne Haskins can beat him out for the number 2 spot?
Mason Rudolph is still on this team for some reason, and that reason makes me think he stays back up.
I feel like the reason is a rookie contract.
I would say that. So, and Dobbs has been around forever, it seems. It looks like he came from Jacksonville, so apparently he took a vacation for a little bit in Jacksonville and came back home to Pittsburgh. But I don't look forward to any of these guys in the future. And then in the wide receivers, Juju's not going to play, Chase isn't going to play, Deontay's not going to play. So we're looking at Ray McLeod, Cody White, James Washington, Rico Bussey, Isaiah McCoy, Anthony Johnson. Any of these inspiring anything for you?
None whatsoever.
I like James Washington coming out of college in 2018, but ever since he's been very kind of James washed away with everything else. Yeah, thank you. I will say I do I did like Anthony McFarland coming out.
Same.
So I would look
Nice
forward to
catching
seeing just how he performs when they're on offense.
Yeah. It's Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh. It's the it's the AFC North. Who knows? Maybe they do throw in some of their first round. Like I can't remember a time during a.
Are you about the Joe Rodgers suggestion?
No.
Because okay. Because what? Big Ben's got how many more years left?
Oh no. All I was saying is I don't know if you're gonna see how many like first or second round picks. I don't even know if you see Pat Freiermuth. Like you might see Pat Freiermuth. You might see
I hope
Najee Harris. Yeah, you hope so. I don't know if you will or not. Maybe they get a couple, but
yeah, just to wave to the fans.
Exactly. I mean, but I do expect you're gonna see probably a lot of Kalen Ballage and Dalen Samuels and Anthony McFarland, Benny Snell. I don't think Najee Harris is their prized possession this year.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're gonna roll him out, even though he is a stud brick wall bowling ball. I mean, he'll be just fine. I don't think you could hurt that man, but still, you don't pull him out there. In terms of there's a couple guys really that I'm looking at. One in particular that I think is either needs to make that step up from where he was drafted and kind of solidify himself, and that's on the defense side of the ball, Justin Lane, who is I guess their number 3 corner or their number 4 corner. I don't know. He's long, lengthy. Came out of Michigan State. He's physical. He's not the greatest tackler, but he's willing to. He's long. He doesn't shy away from contact by any means, but he's just not the best tackler. And then he's also I remember footwork and mechanics were very raw coming out, but he had a ton of traits that you liked seeing. So he's one, especially because look at their cornerback. You have Joe Hayden, you have Cameron Sutton, who's a good player. And then you have in the nickel position, obviously Justin Lane's not going to play nickel. So you've got Antoine Brooks Jr., who's that? Arthur Mollett. But basically they don't have anybody. They have Joe Hayden and Cameron Sutton and then Justin Lane. And a couple late round guys.
It's a very shallow team throughout.
It is. Everything is
shallow.
You're about
to pay TJ Watt $30 million a year next year. And they got the work cut out for him.
This was a team that
Cameron Hayward has how much longer on him?
This is a team that
Stephon Tuitt has how much longer on him?
Dude, I mean, look at that. If you take off the old guys of this team, it's the worst team in the NFL. I think this is one of the poorest rosters in the entire NFL.
I think the cliff is coming a lot sooner than the entire fan base wants to admit.
The only staple cornerstone player on this team as of right now, proven cornerstone staple, is probably Trey Turner on the offensive side of the ball at least.
Nah.
No, offensive side of the ball. Trey Turner, I would say, is the only cornerstone staple. Juju Smith-Schuster, you don't know yet. Chase Claypool is an up-and-coming star.
I'd put on offense.
No, offense side of the ball. I'm
Deontay Johnson has a lot of promise. I mean,
again,
nice.
Promise. So does Chase Claypool, and I think Claypool is going to be a beast, but you can't call him one yet after, a productive first year.
I will say I didn't touch on him earlier, but Pat Freiermuth should have been drafted in the first round this year.
Nah.
I think I'm just saying it now. Pat Freiermuth is one of my picks.
Unless he can body guys like Gronk, he's such a slug. Trying to get in and out of his breaks. Oh my God, you could take a bathroom break before he can get out of his cuts. It's terrible. I wasn't the biggest fan. I wasn't a fan of this tight end class at all. Very, very low in this tight end class.
I was a fan of his, and also Noah Gray, who plays for the Chiefs, but dude's nice. Yeah. He gets open, and he catches it.
I really wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a big fan of the Bucs draft class this year. I really wasn't. I was okay with it.
Oh, fuck,
you telling me, dude. Especially with Kellen Mond sitting there. Are you fucking kidding? I wanted Kellen Mond so bad. And I had to go eat crow. I had to go eat crow on the JP Peterson show the very next day after being like they're not drafting Kyle Trask. They're not drafting Kyle Trask. Kellen Mond's a better player. Kellen Mond's a better player. Like, I mean, there's. I'm going to take David
Licht was like, we'll see.
Yeah, yep.
He probably heard you on the way in. He's like,
Tampa, it's that Florida bias, dude. The Bucks are so known for that Florida bias. That is exactly why they went Jameis over Mariota. Come on.
They'll stick together down there?
Huh?
They stick together down there?
I guess, for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah, I'm good.
But yeah, as far as the Steelers defense goes,
Steelers defense starting lineup is stacked, yo. It is
very
stacked.
solid.
Defense side of the ball, they are stacked. Offense side of the ball,
you know who's lining up for the warm-up lines. Like, you know who's going to be like the main one leading the stretches, because there's only one genuinely quality player just for now. Like, just looking at the names, and don't get me wrong, I very much so hope some of these players show up and show out and make a whole new life for themselves and create a name for themselves. But just what I'm looking at doesn't look fun. Justin Lane, I would like to watch a little bit more of. I saw some Twitter spheres kind of shitting on him a little bit, saying that he's been disappointing, but
for a third-round pick, he has not.
That's been in shells, and he's not a fast guy, so like it doesn't really, play to his strengths to be in shells and hats. So I mean, like, just running out in shorts and non-pads isn't going to be his game. He's not a 7-on-7 player. He's the guy who can use his body and use his physicality.
You can't use your hands and your arms when you're in shells. Like, doesn't work as well. You don't have as much surface space for contact.
And then besides that, I guess, Miles Killebrew. I liked him out of Utah State a few years ago, or is it Southern Utah? One of those Utah schools.
Southern.
Yeah, I thought so. I liked him coming out. He's a hard-hitting, just safety, and I tend to like those. I was actually thinking, would Justin Lane be able to translate to safety, perhaps? Like, if he's struggling in coverage, and still be able to use just his physicality.
He's not good in space. Like, I think he's kind of more of that man coverage kind of guy. I mean, I could be mistaken. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he's not bad in zone, but I know him just from what I remember breaking down the film back
from what
at
I remember,
State,
he was
lengthy, physical, handsy corner. You know,
he
really
disrupted your path. He got in the way. He disrupted the
again, which is a little easier to do in college than it is in the NFL. So
they
doesn't.
say.
It's not that. It's not. It doesn't always translate. You better be. Jalen Ramsey size and strength to be able to pull that off. But
and it looks like the only returners they have on stock right now are going to be Ray McLeod, Deontay Johnson, McFarland, and James Pierre. Highly doubt Deontay Johnson plays a snap. Ray McLeod was a pretty good returner last year, so I don't see him getting much. So maybe we see McFarland on special teams.
You might.
I don't see why not.
I think the
get the ball in his hands.
As it currently sits, I think Steelers are one of the worst rosters as of 2023 or as of 2022. 2022 season. So next year.
The future is not bright for
Future is not bright right now.
Saying.
Defensively, because they still have to re-sign TJ Watt. So you can't act like that
for $30 million a year.
It has not happened yet, and we can't guarantee it's going to happen.
Might be early 30s.
Yeah,
and he's about to get paid.
But so is Minka. Minka's on what? Minka's on. Oh, wait. Minka went 2018 to what? 2018, 19, 20, 21? Yeah? No, so then, 18, 19. So, okay, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, so he's got, right? Am I doing that math? I always mess the math up. He got drafted first round 2018. So, 2018 season. 2019 season,
he got a contract
2021. He hasn't got one yet. Hell no, because he's going to break. He's gonna set the market. But he went the same year as OJ Howard, so I think he's on his 5th year option right now.
You're right.
So he's on the franchise tag, or not the
Yeah,
franchise
they
tag.
picked up the $10 million option on him this year. So yeah, they're going to pay him. They're going to pay Watt, and I did say they have the most cap space next year. We'll see what they do with Big Ben.
They have Terrell Edmonds.
They drafted.
That's what's funny is they drafted Terrell Edmonds the same year as Minka Fitzpatrick went. So they'd have to keep them both. They'd have to pay them both. But I don't think they're going to pay Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah,
good, but
good luck. Good luck. You have some great little cornerstones, but there's just not anything inside those corners.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Good wide receivers though. You got some good receivers to work with. Yeah.
No, they're always gonna have good receivers to work with. It's Pittsburgh.
Good for them.
All right. I'm trying to think of it. I mean, I think that kind of covers everything that was happening. Oh, Xavier Howard. That's the only thing I think we haven't covered that's like been in the news this week, right?
Yeah, he wants to get paid. He deserves to get paid. But he got paid recently.
He's getting paid. He's been getting paid.
He 2 years ago.
Happens to not be getting paid the most on his team. When he
happened
happened to be one of, if not the arguably best cornerback in the NFL over the last few years. Definitely better than Byron Jones. Byron Jones has had one really, really good year for the Cowboys. Had a kind of like rough start to his career and then really came into his own. And that was the Cowboys' fault for doing that to him. But Byron Jones is definitely a stud. Somebody who I thought they should have paid way more than they should have paid Zeke. Like, I thought Byron Jones was way more important to the Cowboys than Zeke was. Dak, obviously, you pay Dak. Like, you have to pay Dak. They messed up by not paying Dak early. They could have got Dak at like a Derek Carr-like deal if they would have paid him early.
Anytime you can spend 3 first-round picks on linebackers in 5 years, you have to do that.
yeah, that's definitely
Jalen Smith was a second-rounder, but still, that was such an emotional pick that didn't make any sense at the time. It was, that was bad, and you see why bad teams stay bad is because they make predictably bad moves consistently, and that's why they don't ever really make the jump. And I'm excited to watch the Cowboys this year, though, especially on Hard Knocks, which should be coming out soon.
A couple weeks, right?
We got a game on Thursday, so you'd think they'd have like an episode. Probably have an episode on Sunday. I haven't checked at all, but I'd imagine it's on Sunday.
Let's go. Hard.
I would bet it's got to be Sunday because then the next game's the preseason, and they wouldn't do.
Yeah, but it's like you have to record for a whole week. And then,
right, but they've been in training camp for what, 2 weeks? And there's plenty to talk about. Depending. I mean, every other fucking tweet I see is someone talking about CeeDee Lamb looking great against their 4th-string cornerbacks.
Very first episode is Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Tomorrow?
Next week, Tuesday the 10th.
Whack.
Yeah. So very first episode is Tuesday the 10th.
Okay. Well, that'll be fun.
At 9 p.m. Eastern. Check your local listings. What's going to be the biggest storyline for Hard Knocks this year? What do you think? You think there's going to be
shoulder?
You think it's going to be Dak? Do you think it's going to be Dak and the dynamics between him and Jerry?
Is there bad dynamics between him and Jerry?
Well, I mean, there was the contract, dispute over the last so long.
I think they touch on it a little bit, but I think bygones are bygones with the fact that he got paid.
Oh, yeah.
So I think everyone's happy. Jerry's not happy probably, but yeah.
I just feel like there's definitely going to be a Jerry Jones comment that makes like headlines in this. I feel like there's gonna be a Jerry Jones comment like every week that makes.
It's gonna be that they're gonna do a whole segment about how he mentioned him and Jimmy Johnson fell out, and he's not sure why he did it. Like they'll do some sort of flashback. They'll take some time up. But as far as players, Zeke's kind of reforming of his body, I'm sure will be something. CeeDee showing out will be something. And Yeah. We'll see what happens on defense. They still have Alden Smith?
I don't think so. I think they let him walk.
Come on. There you go. I'm just browsing at the players that could possibly be HBO superstars. Alden Smith did walk. Wow.
No. They let him walk. Like they actively tried to not bring him back.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Well, you figure that out. I'm gonna figure out where Alden Smith's at.
Yeah.
Because he played really good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would they not want him to come back? And they would rather just
he's with the Seahawks. Of course, he's with the Seahawks.
Randy Gregory and Neville Gallimore being their guys.
I do
Dorrance
think
Armstrong. I liked him out of Kansas a few years
Gallimore
ago.
has a big personality. So I could see that.
Big.
I could see him being. He might have like some breakout. He might
Malik,
be.
Malik Hooker being the new guy will probably be something.
It's gonna be. Cowboys could be lightning in a bottle this year.
If Dak stays healthy.
I think so.
And Amari Cooper gets help. Oh, and Amari Cooper's injury.
I'm missing that one. What happened?
He's got a foot injury that puts him on a pup right now. I believe it's the foot.
Well, is Amari Cooper not on the injury report? That's an easier question.
That's why you draft CeeDee Lamb this year, kids. As early as the 4th round.
Yeah, I don't think that they have Amari Cooper on the roster.
Maybe even early the 3rd.
That's crazy. Like, as talented as Amari Cooper is and has been, like, he's just a legit, like, nobody thinks of him as a centerpiece of an offense.
Yeah, but he gets like 1,100 plus yards every year. It's crazy.
Not
He's quietly does his job.
Yeah.
Let me see.
He had Derek Carr throwing him for years. I mean, it's not like they were in the most illustrious offense. I mean, he had a couple. I think he had a couple thousand.
And that's kind of the thing is like he still showed up in those years because he was the clear only guy.
There was like, well, I guess again, always been surrounded by Raiders fans, so I hear a lot of hate.
God, sorry about that. That sounds awful. That's another terrible franchise. Oh, by the way, this is not a Raiders jersey. If anyone thought it was, Jack.
Bro, that's legit, bro.
Do you know who this is?
That is legit, dude.
Who is it?
Oh man, any given Sunday, son.
Good shit.
Oh,
See?
I know. I can't think of the name.
Work together.
What's the name of the quarterback? I can't think of. Steve. Oh, dude, I was wondering that this whole time.
It's the commercial he does. It's Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Well, no, I know it's Jamie Foxx. I'm trying to think of the actual name of the quarterback in the.
Willie Beam.
All right, Willie Beam. Okay.
So there is only 1 year, Amari Cooper. He has played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in the NFL, and only one of those was less than 1,000 yards.
And that was
an nice
season. Yeah. No, he's good. He's legit good.
And he has been relatively healthy, and that was the year he only played 14 games.
And again, I remember I have made plenty of cases or argued on Cooper's behalf several times, and the fact that like when he played for the Raiders, he was their only threat, their only weapon. Like he was seeing a safety over the top at all times. I mean,
21 years old.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, his ability to create separation is like 1A, 1B, 1C in the NFL with, I would say, like Jarvis Landry, Stephon Diggs, and then probably him. I think
expecting Jarvis Landry to come in there. Davonte Adams.
Separation.
Devontae Thomas, I would say, gets more separation than Jarvis Landry. I like Jarvis Landry. He's on one of my fantasy teams. I know
Stephon Diggs leads the league in like yards per yards of separation per route. Like I know Stephon Diggs is number 1 and has been for
Brian Dable really found a glitch in the matrix last year. We'll see if he can do it again this year.
Yeah, I know you're so hating.
It's all scheme.
You're hating on the Bills. I now see why. You're hating on the Bills and Josh Allen and like pushing this just because you were trying to will it into existence because you look at them and you see the biggest threat to the Chiefs is the Bills and the possibility of Josh Allen just taking over a game like a and having a Patrick Mahomes like, surgeons to literally will his team past your Chiefs. That's what I think you're afraid of. I think that's why you're projecting such negative energy towards the Bills this season. Am I wrong?
I wouldn't say I consider them a threat. I would just say they're the biggest contenders for the AFC. And I kind of see them the same way as I see the Ravens, who just have whatever you may consider it, but there's just, whether it be just philosophy mismatches or schematic mismatches or talent mismatches, that just they can't seem to get the Chiefs' number. I mean, Lamar Jackson's winless against them, and Josh Allen hasn't really had a close game.
I think the Ravens, like, unless it's a super shitty team, basically play small ball. And you cannot play small ball against the Kansas City Chiefs.
No.
You can't do it. You can't run the ball and play.
And then Tyrann Mathieu just spies
You have
Lamar
to put up points. You have to.
I am interested to see what happens with the Ravens this year, though. They absolutely loaded up on wide receiver. This like crazy amount of talent has entered that room that wasn't there last year. So we'll see. Marquise Brown hurt his hamstring today. So.
Also, think about the upcomers. Like, think about Devin Duvernay in year 2. Think about James Prochet. Think about
Bro, Duvernay might not even make the team. Like, they got Tylan Wallace out of Oklahoma State, who I was a big fan of.
Every time Duvernay touched the ball last year, he made a play. Come on, Tampa.
So how many wide receivers you get? How many wide receivers you going to keep? You have Sammy Watkins, you have Marquise Brown, you have Rashad Bateman, you have Tylan Wallace, you have James Prochet, you have Devin Duvernay.
They have to keep Duvernay. I don't think there's any way they keep. I know Prochet's a beast, but didn't they take Duvernay before they took Prochet? Prochet went late. I think Duvernay went like 5th. Prochet went like late 6th or 7th. I think. Still, I don't know.
I always get surprised by how the Ravens just operate. They always pull off some fucking bullshit trade that always upsets me. I'm just like, I don't think it's him.
Oh yeah, except for the time they traded the freaking.
Besides that,
Zeus of all people, Orlando Brown to your team, the dumbest trade of all time.
Our biggest weakness for a very reasonable deal. Thank you. So yeah, their current depth chart is Marquise Brown and Sammy Watkins starting. Then you have Miles Boykins, who we didn't think of. Rashad Bateman, James Prochet, Devin Duvernay, Tylan Wallace, and then guys behind them that probably won't do much. Deion Kane, Jalen Moore, Devin Gray. It's the same old. I think that they do something pretty cool with J.K. Dobbins this year and let him eat. They should, because he's an absolute monster. We don't have to go into the Ravens. We can wait until they're a relevant team, or at least their game is coming up. But as far as AFC goes, yeah, fuck the
Bills. Don't be bitter.
I hope they come to Austin just so I can personally go there and ridicule them. Oh, that would be a terrible match for them too. Austin is not a Buffalo City.
Why would they?
They would have to. Have you not heard about that?
What are you talking about?
So the Buffalo Bills are currently in I wouldn't say a dispute, but they're in talks for like a new stadium and like keeping it in Buffalo. So Austin has surfaced as like the place the Bills would move to if Buffalo doesn't work.
Bro,
yeah.
do you think that Bills Mafia can't crowdfund $2 billion to build a
Let's
stadium?
find out.
Or you think that
Hey,
can't
Buffalo
happen?
Bills fans,
They'll
send all
pay
of your
for
money
it
to a
themselves.
worthless cause.
They'll build it themselves. Bills Mafia will quit their jobs and pick up a goddamn hammer and go buy a welder, and you will have Bills Mafia Stadium like in a matter of like 8 weeks. I'm telling you.
It's the grossest locker room. I would say go for it. Go for it, Buffalo Bills fans. Send all of your money to a team that will get tax refunds for it anyway and make the team pay for their everything anyways. Sure. I hope they stay in Buffalo and keep that strong, proud tradition going. They would have to retire the tables, like jumping through tables. That's a Buffalo thing. They would have to do something different in Austin. They have a pretty rampant.
No, I think Bill's Mafia travels anywhere, and Bill's Mafia owns the jumping through tables.
Oh, the tables.
I don't think Buffalo, the city itself, does. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think you're ever.
I don't think there's a lot of Mafia presence in Austin. There's a much bigger homeless population in Austin. So I think the fans would more like be jumping through like tents and like jumping through like little just homeless little shanties that you just jump through from chairs.
This is why we are not getting any YouTube views.
I don't care. Austin could use a football team. Bring them on.
Austin's got a football team, baby. Hook 'em horns.
Yeah.
Speaking of
SEC,
that is the one we didn't cover. I know we said we were only going to do an hour. We're already pushing 2. Fuck it. Do you want to cover?
We don't need to get into that now. We can do that next time.
Yeah, I mean, we've got years to talk about it because it's not going to happen like
right
off the bat.
But yeah, we're pushing. We're pushing. Take years off of kids' lives.
We're pushing 1:30 right now. So.
Yeah, let's give people the rest of their Mondays, Tuesdays. We'll be back with the SEC breakdown of how it's destroying the NCAA, destroying the future and the college athletes, and how it's going to ruin their lives because they're getting access to money that they're not used to, and they're being put in situations that is going to pretty much derail their progress. Not all of them, but there's going to be more sad stories than success stories, I think.
Well, again, that does deserve its entire whole episode because there's so much to break down with the NCAA right now and the SEC doing what they're doing. And I really do think that the paying for players or payers being able to be played and Oklahoma and Texas moving to the SEC, definitely it's a snowball effect. I think there's a lot that's going to happen. I think there's so many things that are going to follow this. Like this is literally the straw that broke the camel's back. And
yes,
we are going to see so many things happen.
We're going to see an entirely new camel because of this one specific move. Yeah. Now the Big 12 is going to dissolve. I saw they're doing a Texas Senate hearing today about it, and just like all the representatives of schools that are affected. And they are going to be losing $500 million of revenue just from the programs TCU, Texas Tech, and what was the other one? It's going to burn me up. The 3, TCU, Texas Tech, and who's the other big one? Anyways. No. It's like the ones that are really getting hurt by the Big 12, by Oklahoma and UT leaving. But anyways, it's costing them $500 million in just overall state revenue by them not being associated with a power conference. Like them having to go down to a lesser conference is going to legitimately set back the state of Texas. So now
that's why eventually the SEC is just going to absorb them all. They're just going to be like, keep coming. Keep coming.
Yes.
Next year there'll be 2 more teams, and then 2 more teams, and then it is going to be the PSEC, the Power Southeastern Conference. I don't think they'll ever rename it because the SEC has.
I think it's just going to be this SC. It's just going to be the Super Conference, and it's going to be 20 of the best programs, not best, but the highest raised, the highest revenue programs in the entire nation. So we're talking like Ohio State, Clemson, Texas, A&M, Bama. All the ones that are in their own kind of tier already when it comes from profitability and bringing in revenue and just being able to pay the players. So we really have to get into this, but we are essentially we're creating a landscape that is essentially creating a free agent system for high school students. So now Nick Saban can say, look, we got this 5-star that we really want to get. You can talk to the boosters, you can talk to the school, and they can essentially create their own business or create their own shell company to be able to send money through sponsorships in this NIL agreement to pay these players to come play for that program. So now we have programs that are essentially Manchester United versus the LA Galaxy, but we're putting them in the same pool. But like Memphis can't compare with like their booster program and the ability to raise revenue compared to like Ole Miss or enter top tier team here. Like it's just a completely different ball game when we're talking about that. And now we're going to have to reconfigure all the structures of the conferences. We're going to have to create and we're already going that way anyways with we're going to 16 games in the playoffs, which was always predictable. And it's going to go to 32 teams in a few years. Like it's once you started the playoff system with 4 teams,
I think
the conversation was just going to go to 6.
I think they should cut it out to 16. I'm sure they'll keep
I think
going,
so too. I think they should have cut it at 8.
Yeah, I think 8. I want to say I'm right there with you. I think 8 because it's just it becomes too much.
It's not going to stop because those are the highest rated those are the highest rated games, and playoff games get more money, and that's all this is driven on. Money is the root of all evil, and it's ruining a great thing in college football. We're not going to have 2026 will be a completely different sport.
It's been done ruined college football and college sports and college athletics. Period. It's the most corrupt. It is like outside of the U.S. government, it is the most blatantly corrupt system we have. Like. In the United States, just period. Like the fact that,
just to get us really bad.
Yeah, we're gonna go through all 3 again. This is we are so screwed. We're
done.
We're done. All right, Spotify.
Might as well.
We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
It's been real YouTube. We have buried ourselves in less than 2 episodes. So if this get absolutely no views and I'm still wondering why we're not like on the live stream stuff. Usually it pops up. My feed. It's not popping in my feed right now. I'm getting a little nervous.
Okay. So we did all this for nothing.
Yep. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we got. So.
Okay.
We'll see how. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hey, I'll do this. We do this off. We do this off camera all the time, anyways. What's the difference between recording it?
Well.
Hey, to all 2 of our fans. Love you guys. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Love to have you.
Again, this has been the Blitz Breakdown, presented by Blitzalytics.com, where scouting meets analytics, and you meet the newest crop of outfield talent. I'm Jack Bourgeois, as Ashton Moore. We'll be back next week, same time. See you there. Us, him, me, you, my dogs in the background, other noises. What else? We'll figure it out. There'll be some NCAA college football talk. I'm sure there'll be some more Aaron Rodgers talk. We'll continue to shit on Baltimore. And whatever else. The Cowboys.
I'll throw some Bills stuff in there. Why not?
I will back my boy Josh till the day I die. He's gonna be the greatest quarterback.
Someone's got to.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that do, bud. A lot of people that do. Just saying. Just because
a lot of people that backed Carson Wentz for a few years too.
I might have been on that.
Players.
I mean,
similar players.
Carson Wentz versus Josh Allen. I mean, one's like a normal man, and one is like a god of. I mean, like realistically, like I mean, if you built a prototype for a quarterback, it's Josh Allen, is it not? Maybe you can make him faster. Maybe you can make him like a little quicker. Yeah. But like what? I mean, in terms of like physical attributes.
No, he's a lot of fun to watch, and he's quite the entertaining chap. I just think we're gonna see him create a crater with how hard he comes back down to earth.
He's bitter. He's a little scared.
About what?
He's a little scared. He's scared about the Buffalo Bills. Scared about my boy Josh Allen. You're a little nervous.
Bring it.
I think you're a little nervous.
Bring it.
You're like how I was about New Orleans last year. You're like, he's talking a bunch of shit on it, hoping it comes true.
What did they improve on this offseason?
I told you this last week, man. Just the fact that, I mean, camaraderie.
Everyone's just more better.
Yeah, another year in the system, another year with a legit stud wide receiver that they are going to be able to implement more so. You can't expect Jerry Rice and Joe Montana to be on page the years they were winning the Super Bowl, their first day of practice. Like, it takes time. You got to build that timing, that have them flow. I mean, I don't know.
It'll be fun.
Defensively, definitely up the game. So I think that was their downfall. I don't think it was Josh Allen. I don't think it was the offense. It was a run game. It was definitely the run game was lacking last year, even though they have put.
They signed Matt Breida.
Yeah, that's a nice little change of pace back. But again, I think Devin Singletary and
they already have that in Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary and Zach Moss can definitely get it done. I just think, Zach Moss got hurt, Singletary got hurt. They were both banged up last year. We'll see. I'm not making excuses for a team that's not even mine.
Nah,
all right?
it's right. And I don't want you to. You don't deserve that.
I'm most certainly not. I don't see. Do you see on the ticker that the Chiefs are just below the Bills on the
I'm not seeing any ticker. I haven't seen anything.
Oh yeah, you can't see what I see, but what they see, actually, the Buffalo Bills little emblem, the little ticker thing with like the team logos. It actually that goes Bills and then Chiefs. Just saying.
Alphabetical, that typically works.
That's probably what it is. But yeah,
I hope so.
Out there. Again, appreciate y'all tuning into the Blitz Breakdown. Thank you guys.
We're still here.
Yeah, we are still here. Yeah. Come back